the end of this weekly candle close, and let's see if this loaded up properly this time. Um, Hopefully it did. I could tell right away on the last live that something was wrong with the way it was showing, so I checked it. So let me close this out and let this reset now on my tablet. But good morning, everybody. We do have a lot of stuff to talk about. I have some very important stuff to talk about, assuming that it lets me do this. Okay, it's in the proper distortion now. Um, but this is some serious stuff we need to talk about. And it affected my portfolio a lot. So we need to pay attention to this. And it's going to directly impact the way that I talk about certain things, not the tokens, but the exchanges. And as we head into 2026, this is something that I'm not messing with anymore because the scams, the rhetoric from the way that our accounts become frozen or become hacked or become stolen. I think it's unfortunately that time for me where, unless it's just a tier one exchange, I'm just not dealing with it anymore. So the reason I say this is I went to do KYC on WeX, and because I don't want my assets to get stolen, and just if I'm going to use it and then we have taxable stuff, I'm going to do it in a proper way. But it wouldn't let me KYC, and to a further extent, it said it's because my region's restricted. And the deeper you go into it, it may claim that you can use it, but it seems to be a pretty strategically put in scam by the exchange itself that once you get into some significant profit, they simply just say you're not allowed to use it there. You have no recourse, and we're going to freeze your account and hold your holdings, and they're not yours anymore. Didn't happen to me, but when I went to try to, just by pushing the USA, it said restricted. And so I took all my stuff off, and that means no IOTA. So I'm just going to hold my stuff on Kraken. I'm going to do it all there. That is going to affect likely our copy trade. I sent my Epic off a 2-bit because it won't even let me do it there. So any way that I can't have a hold and be able to do what I need to do, I'm not doing it in 2026 because it seems like this is a deeper ploy. And I think this is universally a way for them to, let's just say, steal your stuff with no recourse. So I'm taking a lot of the gamble out of this now. And I'm not dealing with it anymore. So if it's no KYC, I'm not, as you see, I don't have any promotion for it. I took it off my main page. The only thing I have on there is Kraken. I have Epic. I sent to crypto.com because it's able to go there. I have upped my XDC. Now that I can't have IOTA, I upped the allotment that's available for Algo to 100,000 tokens. I've upped the allotment that's available for XDC to 300,000 tokens. There's just a few things. So I'm not doing that anymore. I didn't close the copy trade out yet because I wanted to talk about this first. But I'm going to close it because I don't want to take the risk. And I'm not going to talk about anything else besides the crypto because I feel like I'm starting to see universally what's happening now, and it makes perfect sense. Use these exchanges, blah, blah, blah. Even if you wanted to go get help, you have no credentials. It's not linked to you. And it's just, it appears to me that this is that they're doing on the common man because the principles aren't in place yet. After 2026 or 2027, I don't remember when it exactly goes in. This won't even be possible because you won't even be able to log into them and trade crypto without, with making sizable gains. So, and my fear is that we're going to make sizable gains, and then when we go to cash it out, because we have gains, It's not going to, and it's going to freeze. And then we don't have any recourse. You can't call a lawyer because there's nothing linking it to you. That's the problem. I started to think about this deeply. Why would an unregulated exchange come in here and portray through social media that it's allowed? Because if we're in there and then we have all this money on there, we get comfortable and then we make all this money and then we go to cash it out and they're like, "What do you mean? That's not your account. I don't see no know your customer. I don't see no validation linked to your passport, your license, your state ID, your country citizenship." So I'm just sticking with KYC. I'm just gonna stick with KYC. So as of right now during the live, I gave you guys the benefit of the doubt so I could close this during the live just so I could explain because I have to do this seriously and I can't I'm not doing it. I thought about it deeply. I prayed on it. And like I got a calm over myself when I decided this. So just one of those things. We simply can't take this risk. And like I also thought about a couple other things that going forward, I've come up with a business model, not even a business model, but I've come up with something that might appease a lot of people that want to go into like a class setting. It won't affect my lives. It has nothing to do with this channel. It's just something that I'm going to start doing. I talked to Julie about it because I'm a teacher at heart and I like to teach, but this would not be like how we do it on YouTube. This would be a classroom setting. It would be set up. I have lesson plans all made out. I could even show you like a write-up that I did just so you can see how serious it is. And I don't know how much. It's not going to be like $500, but some people are saying donation based or $50 or $500 a month. No, it ain't going to be. But it'll be a couple hours a week though, so you'll have to put time into it if you want to do it. But we will start from the beginning of the beginning of the beginning. So even if you're the most advanced trader, I'm starting out as if we know nothing, as if I know nothing, as if you know nothing, and we're going to grow together from the very basics. And we're not even, it doesn't mean from one week to the next, one class to the next, that we're going to go from lesson to lesson. We're not moving until every single person who is in there understands the point we're making, understands that part, and then we'll move on to more advanced metrics within the same basic trading principles or the same basic. And that's what I want to do. I talked to Julie about it. And I want to do this from I don't know. And because I would do this and just put a link out for everybody, but I tried that before and I got spammed the crap out of. So I don't know how I'm going to do it. Maybe it'll be $50 a month. Maybe it'll be $10. I don't know. I think $50 for all the time and all the effort that's going to be put into it would be warranted, but I don't know. But it's something I want to do deeper, and I can't do it on the YouTube setting. But there will be exceptions to the rule, obviously, based on the size, or if people want to donate for their fellow man and woman to be in there with us. I don't have a problem with that, especially if we know who the person is. But, that's something that I've been thinking long and hard about. So I closed the linear, and I'm going to close my accounts too, because I can't take the risk, not just for me, but for everybody else. So I'm trying to, in 2026, my goal is to rebuild this from the bottom up in a different way. Not that this is getting stale, but I want to evolve this into something even deeper with more meaning. So now it's got to be separate than Tom's Army because I don't want it linked to the channel at all. Because I tried that before and then people would join Tom's Army and then they would just leave and then they would become the ones who would spam the actual community when I do things like that. This has nothing. We made you so inside of a classroom setting with the way I'm a hands-on teacher. So there would be active live trading, but not until we got to the point when we got through the beginning stages. And then we would go through doing limit orders, market orders. We would do stop loss, trailing stop, and we get into it all. We'd get into trailing we'd get into it all. It starts at the microcosm all the way through. No Discord, no Telegram, none of that crap. No, this is an official setting. This would be in a completely different area. It would be as if I don't even exist in the rest of it. This would be unified in a different fashion. You don't even recognize the way I am right now because when I go into that setting, I'm a completely different person. So, imagine like an emergency room doctor compared to a professor. You're acting two different ways. So, what you see here is not what you're going to get there. It's not about XRP. It's not necessarily about crypto. It's about fundamentals, trading, economics, the whole thing with money. We can even talk about it goes through it all. It would be completely different. Not even a website. This is beyond the website. This is privatized. This isn't for the public. This is just privatized between a core that's trying to build. That's it. You'll hear more about this, but I have a lot of plans for this. So it pains me because I officially, and it sucks, closed out that copy trade, and I'm officially sending my last money off of there. So now it's all gonna be that's what's been on. That's what I've been thinking about. So and I've been getting a lot of push from a lot of important members that are talking that have been around for a while that just want to understand this stuff, and it's just something that I like. Edgar, there may be a time and place for that in all honesty. Once it gets in the flow, because I have something in my head that I would really like to do, and I never thought I would, but now it seems like with my son being in school full time now, that when he's feeling good, I actually have the time to do it. And I think I don't know. I don't know how the payment would work. I would probably do it through maybe I don't know. The payment is the farthest thing from my mind right now. I'm just trying to figure out how to do this without getting it spammed the crap out of, if you know what I mean. I would probably do it through something through my Chase or something where it could just be like scannable, kind of like when you go to a store. I don't know. I would have to look into that, but I'm not looking for. And I would do this as a 1099 too. So I would be claiming it as a tax. This isn't a gift. I'm taking this as a job. This would be a job to me. This would be like a side job. I would do 1099. I would save all the receipts so that if I'm not performing my task because I'm claiming taxes, you have recourse to get your money back. You see what I'm saying? So this wouldn't be I'm holding your hand. This would be all legit. All of it. Because I want everybody to have a real experience and not just for you, but for me too, to hold me accountable. If I'm not held accountable, what takes me from just stealing your money? Like, I don't want that. So, anyhow, I'm excited about this. And it's not starting today or tomorrow because I'm actually creating it from the ground up. I've already started lesson plans that I'm working with AI, bouncing it off how it would look. I do have some demonstrations. I don't know if I want to share them yet, but it's something pretty cool. I was showing Julie, and I think it could be something of importance. But anyhow, good morning. 11:21 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, November 30th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So, there's just a lot of cool stuff that we're gonna get into. I really think that there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff. I wish I could show you what's on my actual phone right now, but I didn't do it on my tablet. But we got to get into XRP because right now we do have a chance to break out. We do have a chance to break out, which is great news. Right now we held that back test at 217.9 like a champ. Like a champ. So we've got a chance. XRP does have a chance. The hell's going on here? Oh, I put that. I'm like, why does it show the liquidity like that for XRP? I was looking at the $2.20.7, and it showed nothing. And I'm like, well, how is that possible? Because I put it at 2,205 on this. I'll bring up the chart in a sec. It's just funny. Anyhow, So XRP, we're in a very, very fundamentally good spot right now, in my opinion. This back test down here, we've held perfectly, and we expanded on it yesterday, and we back tested 217, which is down here. But if you look at this in real time, because we broke out of this back area, this was about, we got to look in the smaller time frames to get the right numbers. We did. We held this, got out of here, back tested on this wick. We held it like a champ. Came through here all weekend. The only problem is this weekend. So we have a escrow dump. So what we've understood here is, yes, the price might come down after the billion tokens are released. But remember, about 70 to 80% gets relocked back up. So it's not like they're all dumping it on the market. It's not some mass manipulation. It is fully 100% transparent. It is used to pay for, the advancement of funding for the project and the integration into banking systems and all that other stuff we don't ever hear about. The uneducated might say it's because, they're trying to screw us over, but believe it, if they put on 50 billion tokens at once, you would feel it. So you better have it this way, where they all get locked up until December of 28. So I think we're in good shape right now. I've been saying it all weekend. I think we're in good shape right now. Unless we lose 217.9 in real time, it's actually 218.2, but I like 219 or 217.9. Unless we lose that in real time, I think we're okay. I really think we're okay unless we lose this in real time. You are a great teacher and you're doing what you are meant to do, which is amazing. Thank you, Mrs. Stott. And I really think if I do take it to the next level and I dedicate myself like that, I didn't know if I would have the time. That's why I haven't done it. But I do think if I dedicate myself to that, it's going to complete my whole process. And then I'll be outside of having to worry about just trading full time. I can put my passion to work. And then instead of having to beat around the bush a lot, we can actually do the nuts and bolts and not charging people their life savings, but at least time is worth something. And I have to understand that sometimes if I got to put a $50 a month price tag on something, so be it, because I'm putting a lot more work in than $50 worth. But I think universally, if it's felt, then I'm doing my purpose. But it can't affect this. I still have to do this just as much. See, that's the thing. There's a fine line. So it's all got to integrate within itself. That's all. I just hope my schedule will work with you, Tom. I'm trying. That's why I'm trying to figure out a universal time when I do it, because I've got people all around. So it's one of those things that's going to be the talking point too. Like where everybody's from. Like even if you were watching and you're like, hey, from a class setting, if we were taking an hour, it's going to be a minimum of an hour, but I would like to do it 2 times a week at minimum. So that would be 8 classes a month. Like that would give us 8 hours of classroom time a month. That's a lot of classroom time. So, I mean, obviously a virtual classroom, but you get it for anybody who's in school. 8 hours a month is a lot. Tom, I would go back to supporting you at $100 a month for the right service. Please, I'll commit to the whole year. Oh, wow. That's strong, Sean. That's very generous of you. Why not make people then people can watch it when they have that's not what this is about, John. It's not I make videos every single day. That's not the point. It's something different. You can't make a video and walk along with somebody at the same time with the hands-on guidance in real time. It doesn't work. Like I said, this would be something different and it's not going to be for everybody. You can watch my videos the same way right now, but some people are begging for something deeper, and the only way I can give them it deeper is if I take it off and we do it on a one-to-one level amongst the group. Yeah, I would have a place where if I do this, it would be somewhere where it's stored so you can go back from lesson to lesson to lesson. It would all be available. All be available. But anyhow, I don't want to keep talking about that. That was just something I wanted. It's being talked about in the audience a lot, and then it got me thinking a little bit deeper. Let's see. Did we finish XRP? No, no, no. We're not done with XRP, Ken. And thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XP Predictor, along with XRP Fam, Big Dog. Love it. Trading with J-Ride, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 4 years with the XRP Phoenix badge. I love that so much. Thank you, Trading with J-Ride. Says hit that like button. 58% of you have hit the like button so far. Frankie Fresh, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over, let's see, 3 months with the XRP Meteor. I mean, not 3 months, over 6 months with the XP Predictor. And give Janine my love. I hope you're both having a blessed Sunday. Back to the work week and the real week starting tomorrow. So I hope everybody's doing okay. We got about 3 inches of snow roughly outside. So we got a little bit of snow. So it'll be interesting tomorrow. It's cold and snowy. More like Michigan now. Sean, thanks for being a very trusted mod in here, my main man from Maine. And I seen your video you sent me of Ban. Good video. And it is interesting because I like how in the video they acknowledge that Ban protocol is the main oracle of XRP. Or for the legend, so I think that's interesting. So, and there's not very many tokens for Ban circulating. So everybody's always shocked that I have the 10,000 Ban, but it's positioning, guys. It's one of those things. Oh shoot, I have to do this with the Linnea, so let me see something. Because I don't want to get caught with my dick out with not having it. But I know Linnea, I think you can deposit it onto Kraken from another exchange, if I'm not mistaken. So let me see how this works. Let me see if it's even available to withdraw from this other exchange. Because I'll be honest, the more I think about this, the more nervous I get about the way that they're doing this. Look at that. Linnea withdrawal suspended. Unbelievable. And so I'm just going to buy it on Kraken, but I'm going to send the money there. But what do you guys think about that? What I was talking about when I started? Like, I just honestly want to know, like, do you agree? Do you think I'm overreacting? But I don't think I am. Yes, XRP fam got the XRP Predictor badge. 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. That nightly Twitch time used to be a lot of fun time. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's when I had the private Twitch, so that you had to be invite only. I like that too. I really did. Quant's taken off. We talked about how Quant could lead the way, and I feel very comfortable now with XRP's move that's coming. It broke through all 3 levels. We've been talking about it. And I think, the next time we hold this 101, I think, like I've been telling Shane, he's going to be very happy. He's a very big proponent of Quant, maybe one of the biggest pushers of it in the community. Only, but not the one who loves it the most, but the one who won't let us forget about it, which is a good thing, a very good thing. Sorry guys, I have to send this off so I can do this. Oh crap, I forgot to. Let's see. This pains me too. I liked our little journey. I like our journeys, but we can do a journey in a different way because we have to stay safe. I hate this so much. I do. Bothers me. Because it's like, I don't know, crypto was made for something completely different. And now it's like, they're trying so hard to make it to where they can steal our stuff. And I guess the best way I can say this is I'm not going to give them the ammo to steal my stuff so easily, at least. We're kind of starting to see from our own community members, and not even on these exchanges, but just in general. Well, some may be on these exchanges. What do I know? I don't know everybody's story. But we're starting to see it's happening more and more and more and more. It's almost like it's on purpose. So when something just doesn't feel right, you kind of got to go with it. All right, let me just hit this. Okay. Unfortunately, like I was able to get everything off, but for how long? Will Epic Chain recover? I think so, Sean. I have 10,000 plus tokens of Epic. that I'm keeping. Protects both ways. Yes, sir, my yard. It sure does. It sure does. KYC has to be the way. I agree. It protects us. And then, and I know a lot of people don't care because a lot of people just have losses, but it protects you in the moment of gains because then when you try to move your money to your bank account or something, they can't just steal your stuff. And some people are like, well, if I do KYC, I'm going to have all these implications. Yes, you are, but you know what? I'd rather pay some taxes to make some money. Like if I got to pay taxes because I made some money on crypto, so be it. Don't let that be your deciding factor of why you can't do something. And don't put your stuff at risk. Because think about it. If it's not linked to you and the exchange just simply, it doesn't matter. What if the exchange freezes it? All they have to do is wipe all of your information because there is none. They just literally wipe you away. And then it's no harm, no foul. They're unregulated exchanges at the end of the day if they don't let you sign up to them. So there's got to be a reason for it. They come into a market where they know they're not welcome and they lie to you. And then when they're done and they get as much of you as they can, they leave. KYC is for tax and safety. Yep. Yep. And like the problem is we can't even get our information off the non KYC exchanges. Even if you have tax losses, you can't even claim them because they won't give you the information. And then they just what I think they do is they purge everything. So it's not, they don't have the data because they're not regulated and they're not participating. So it's so easy to not have a paper trail and just steal your shit. It's just like a hacker. They have something that's, yeah, it's on a blockchain, but it's not linked to anybody because they're not actually putting a face to it. And then when they do that, it's impossible for you to get it back. Imagine having a debit card, but you don't have your name attached to it, but you have all this money in it. And then all of a sudden one day they just say, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. You were never a client here. Then you go to get recourse and there's no way to get recourse. Well, firefighting, that's why they're unregulated because they don't want to do that. They're not participating. So that's where they get you. So they won't let you protect yourself because they don't want to take that step. That's why all these exchanges aren't allowed in the USA. They won't take that step. And I started realizing that. They don't want to deal with the consequences of regulations in the USA, so they just avoid it. And then they just steal your stuff. It sucks. Time I'll be honest with people about the money I used to pay off my house. I took it directly up. The exchange and I plan on paying taxes. I pulled out six. Yep. Classic. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Absolutely. But firefighting, I think it's deeper than that. I think that they're not worried about that stuff because they're illegally acting here. So when you're doing stuff illegally, you're not worried about passing that over because you're not in that jurisdiction. But what they can do is they can force you to not have any recourse to get your own stuff. A criminal is a criminal at heart all the way through, not just to steal our stuff. So I think it's deeper than just that. I think in 2028, once they pass that bill, that's exactly what's going to happen. And it's going to be starting then. So, you know, yep, paying taxes is required, and that's why I pay them. I know a lot of people tell me they're not paying certain things. I just pay it. Do I overpay? Probably. I don't know. But it just, I don't know. It's totally beyond the tax thing, though. It's deeper than that. I think this is a unified way for a whole network to scam us. I really do. I really do. I think there's something deeper here. It's something weird. Frankie Fresh says, Tom, this is the smartest thing you ever could have done. I tend to agree with you. I don't know. After I started thinking about it deeper, you start going down a little bit deeper, and you're like, you know what? It's a lot deeper than just. I think there's a whole network of they're trying to steal our stuff. It's no different than when you go to like a overseas, like people who like played the slots or sports betting and all that. It was easy to put the money in. Sure, you could do all the stuff, but once you made money, you weren't getting it back because it wasn't linked to you. There was no government ID involved. There was no documents. So then, even if you tried to get it or claim anything, you can't even get your money. And then they'll just say, oh, it's not. What are you talking about? It's just a code. It's scary. The whole crypto space is getting weird. So I'm gonna try to rise above it, and we're gonna do things in a big different way here. And yeah, we're gonna have to bite the bullet on these tier one exchanges. And right now I'm just using Kraken Pro. I've got some stuff on crypto.com because I had to send Epic there. But I'm just gonna do it like that. And then just remember, when you sell something, have it linked somewhere, and then just you do what you gotta do. That's all. And I do think we would be stronger as a community with this. I do. Comes from the top. Hey man, you're gonna have to start over from the beginning on this one. I would honestly say, got to start over from the beginning. Um, but yeah, we're gonna we'll be doing a lot of stuff. I really feel a sense of pride being here. Me too. Me too. But that's community driven. Community makes me feel prideful. But XRP 2 hourly, we back tested the 2 hour time frame, came through a little bit hostilely. It does look like we built a little bit of a. I still think this is a little bullish setup here as long as it can maintain the structure. And so far it has. Any dissolve vehemently of liquidity harms us all, whether that comes from dish exchanges or meme coins that become pump and dumps. Pulling liquidity from the market hurts the little guy. I 100% agree with that, Sean. So we got to find a way to minimize our liquidity risk, so to say. It's hard though, isn't it? It's hard. I think it is hard in these markets. Shane, I'm very proud to have you in Tom's Army, and thank you for being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. So let's just, out of curiosity, see if I try to buy Linnea on Kraken. What are we talking about with fees and things like that? Also, what are we talking about with pricing? Let's see what the price is at on here. It says it's 0.1. So I was like, is that the right price? Seems to be the right price because it shows 0.1 on there. So you can buy it in USD. Interesting. So let's get this set up like that. Wait a minute, what the hell? I don't want a margin trade. I just want to set, yeah. I was going to say, I don't want a margin trade. I just want to set this up. You have reached me in a very spiritual way. Sounds silly. Thank you. My yard now, it doesn't sound silly because I felt the same spiritual reaction. I don't know how to explain it, to be honest with you. Like, I just had this overwhelming feeling like you have to talk about this. And it was more of a, it's not because you want to talk about this, it's because you have to talk about this. I think some people will be thrown off though. Um, so it's back around 0.1. I just want to see what pricing, what kind of fees. Because I'm just gonna buy the 300,000 back. Oh, it won't let me do it like that because I put it more than 3% away from the price. Whoops. I didn't realize that. I'm glad it told me that. Yeah, that's fine. It charged me on 3,000. Well, I did $3,310.97. It filled it at 0102 and $7.28. I can live with that. I can live with that. So I can live with that. But that's on Kraken Pro. Edgar, you're proud to be in chat. That's awesome. I appreciate that, everybody. No different than real estate. Buy low, sell high. But when the fix is in, you got to recognize it. Absolutely. And that's what's going on. I think the fix is in. I think the fix is in. It's, I don't know how to explain it. But I feel, even though I don't want to have it all on crypto.com and Kraken, I have the security of them being a tier 1 exchange. You have the FDIC backing, especially on there's a few of them you do. 1.3 million Linea, future retirement stacking 2.7 million more. Excellent, big dog. Excellent. We are not alone. My lesson for today, 100%. And that's the scariest part of this space. It feels like we're all alone. Yep, absolutely. Cannabis podcast. That's another scary thing that's happening in 2026. They're going to put in some of this further implementation to where it's just not wise to not use a KYC in 26. Let's just put it that way. Up until 26, okay. But the framework changes starting in 26 December. It's January 2nd because there's a 24-hour period. You can't put the law in on the first day for some reason. But once that goes into play, it changes things a little bit. We literally lose all recourse. It's basically like your harm, your foul, you're fucked. And things change because it affects the cold wallets. Because remember, there was supposed to be secrecy because you're not supposed to have a tax event on everything that has to do with crypto. Because you're supposed to have some kind of privacy with it. That was the point. Because, like, here's the thing that there's still issues with. This is why some lawyers will tell you not to pay certain taxes on certain cryptos because they say you're using it as a form of money movement. So a store of value, same as a dollar. So say you bought XRP, just because of the simplicity of sending it quicker than like Bitcoin or having to move from bank to bank and take days or whatever. You sell it, maybe it goes up a tiny bit or down a little bit, but you're just literally moving it for money purposes. But that sale, so there's still a very fine line. That's all going to be fixed. Every year we go on, it'll be some of those loopholes will be tied up. So I just think it's safer to just be KYC'd, have all your taxes ready, and then at least even if you're trading on other exchanges, when you do the sell and it shows the tax event, at least you can do it through the tier 1 exchange and pay your taxes on your money. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it's at 0099 right now. Yes, it is. Well, 0093 because it dropped, but it was just at 001. But let me tell you, if I was looking at this the way I should have, because I wanted to see for everybody how it would work on there. Tax harvest is the key timing. Yep, that's true. That is very true. But yeah, right now we'll see because the 2 hours a little oversold here, but I think in the 4-hour setting we're fine. It's just you might get a little bit better deal. I don't know, but the market's starting to move in a decent way. Band is up 11% right now, but it's breaking out of the short tier, descending almost like wedge-ish, like descending triangle. I don't know if it's a wedge. It almost looks like a wedge because it's getting smaller. Breakout, push up to 46 cents. That would be the next area. I am a very big fan of Band. I know a lot of people think it's a pump and dump. I disagree. It's one of the most found or sound oracles, data oracles that you can have, and that's basically how data is transmitted from the blockchain to the individual token, from the token to the blockchain. So you need this. You need it. And it's one of the biggest ones in regards to the ledger. Like so it doesn't get talked about a lot, and there's not very many tokens. And it moves volatilely, guys. You have to buy it at the right time, but when it moves, Even the people that are probably down from 70, 80, 90 cents, you're going to get made whole at some point. And everybody who sold is going to be like, damn it. Because this has been a long pattern that's been playing out for Ban for a very long time. And even in the short sense, this has been going on for this little consolidation. For this kind of a pattern, this is pretty long. And these are bullish reversal patterns. We had a fake out here, which is where we actually were able to make some good money. Well, some didn't because they bought it when it came back down, but some did, some didn't. For all the gains I've made, I've also had big losses. So, depending on which way you look at it, a lot of it can be made equal after you make gains and they get pushed back down because of market movements and volatility and just things. So, but I do like the idea of crypto Visa debit cards too through the tier one exchanges like crypto.com because you're proving that you're not using the money for gain. You're moving crypto and then you put it into USD so that you can use it instead of having a bank account, you can use it as a bank kind of. Because you're supposed to be able to use your crypto for purchase without incurring that tax event, assuming that you're just laterally moving like Tether into it or whatever. So I've done that a lot now. I've uploaded money from when I get paid and I'll upload it to crypto.com. And instead of having the $2,000 sitting there, I'll just put it on the prepaid card. But you have to go through Tether. You have to go through ways. So you still have that stable coin. So there's a lot of framework not yet built that's being built as we speak. That's why 28 is going to be the defining moment. That's also why they want to think about it. That's also why they want to do biomarkers because then everything's linked to you. And then even if you try to do something outside the box, it's already linked to you through biometrics. I think that's why ultimately there's too many loopholes right now. There's too many loopholes. And that's by design. Let's see. Maple said, "Good morning. All just finished up clearing the snow up here." Yep, Maple. I got to do that after this live. I got about 3 inches out there, so not crazy. But it is gonna stay cold, so definitely got to do it. Definitely got to do it. Oh, I feel great with this live. Like this is a live hearing everybody else's understanding of what we're seeing and agreeing and wanting to go forward with a different approach here is nice. It's nice. So, why wait until something bad happens, right? Why wait? Is the owl with a dot in the upper right? What do you mean? Yep, yep. Same with Oh, I'm so glad Coinbase has one too. So yeah, Frankie Fresh, same principle. That's the same thing with crypto.com. They give you rewards and CRO on purchases, depending on the tier card. Oh, it's the L with the dot in the upper right. Yes, I'm sorry, Edgar. Yes. I didn't understand what you were saying at first. But yeah, Frankie Fresh, same principle. And yeah, we might have to pay a little bit of fees, but guess what? That's the way it was designed. And we're just gonna have to bite the bullet. It just in 2021 it was different. In 2023 it was different, no doubt. 2025 was still slightly in our favor, but once this framework continues to evolve in 26, especially 27 and 8, it's not going to be the same. So we're just going to get out in front of it. We're going to pay our taxes and we're going to do what we got to do. That's it. Same thing as when I trade the stock market. It doesn't seem because it'll show you're trading all this money and then your tax hit is it's so weird how it works. But they got, it's all, they send you your form, send it in with the money you owe, or write it off as losses. But you're going to get a form. Just do your job. That's all I'm saying. But anyhow, have to change with the changes. Yep. Yep. And believe me, that yes, there's multimillionaires every single day going from cold wallet to non KYC, back to cold wallet, back to some weird stuff. But at the end of the day, when it hits their bank account, they're paying some form of taxes. Whether they're getting around 950, it doesn't matter because once you make that purchase to your bank, you're paying taxes on it. So even if you think you're not, you are. That's why you got to get on a tier one exchange so that you can at least document that movement when you're actually getting paid. That's the part that they want to get taxes when you're getting paid. So, anyhow. And no, it's not a one-to-one system yet, but it will be with biometrics. I promise you. Once you do biometrics, then everything from that point is going to be legal. Yeah, taxes is theft. And that's why I understand that there's been tax advisors on here that said because they're trying to treat them as stable coins or create them as a store of value, that you're just sending money from point A to point B, which is true because that's what they have it as. But still, I know taxes stuff. I do get it, but I still pay my taxes. So call me crazy. XDC, while I still have everybody's attention at that breakout point as well, which is awesome to see. It's awesome to see. If it can get out past this 535, we're gonna get in business. We'll be in business. We will be in business. I feel pretty good about this. As long as we continue along the way we were talking on Friday and Saturday, Quant would lead the way to tell us if we were gonna have a 2 or 3 tier move. And so far, Quant is 2 steps ahead of XRP right now. It got from 82 to 92, which is where XRP would be. Then it also got from 92 to 101 and beyond. So now we're looking to see if we can back test. Syrian, welcome in, and thanks for being a very trusted mod in here and in the Telegram. And being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge, and also a fan of Band. Fan of Band. I love Band too, by the way. What if I wonder if I could show you this little plan that I've kind of bounced back and forth with AI. So you can see just how in depth I'm talking. If I just put my camera front facing, you'd have to read just a small section of it. Let's see. So this is basically when I talk about going into like the nuts and bolts of it. And it wouldn't be exactly like this, but this is just like an artificial rendition. So this is what I mean. This is the thought that's going to do it. You won't be able, I don't think you can hear me when I switch to my camera. What the hell is this? Oops. So I mean, like literally, this would be like. So I mean that's just like I have so many different objectives there to where I've created several different formats. But like that's how in depth it has to be, and it's going to be even deeper than that. But like there's going to be nothing left for chance. I'm going to have step by step guidance, and you're all going to have a step by step syllabus to where you know what's coming or you know what to expect. But there will be some variables. But anyhow, my yard now, welcome in and thanks for being in Tons 3+ months with the XRP meter and also the $9.99 super chat. I greatly, 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 greatly appreciate that. What's the guess how much Linnea will get to? I mean, nobody knows the exact timeline, but I do know we're building up for a pretty substantial move here. I think we're going to come up in the short term to that 1-3, but I think we still are working on the fact that we've never come up here, and I'm going to stick to the fact. And we don't have to have it like that necessarily. But I think at some point we're going to come across and make a lateral move on resistance, even if we don't break past it. And we're going to have to retest this upper wick. We've already retested the lower wick. So we're aiming at a projected target in the future, somewhere around there. But obviously, maybe not obvious to some. But it's something like if I was doing this, I'd probably do it like this. So if you bring this across, eventually this pattern is going to meet here, and then you'll know your apex zone. So your apex approximately is January of 26. So we're getting pretty far into this move now. %, there would be student interaction. 100%, but it would have to be in a unified fashion. So you know how you have 100 people in the class and nobody's talking unless they're talking? Yes. But that's the whole point. We might have to do a class 17 days in a row if somebody doesn't understand, and we're going to go through it. And then by them not understanding, just like in the regular setting, you would understand just based on the pure principles of you're going to see it repeated over and over and over and over and over. And then I'm going to know more myself because I'm going to have to repeat it over and over and over to the point to where, it becomes a kind of almost like a running joke in a sense because you build that camaraderie and then people, it just, yeah. Yes, you would have input. You would not be cut off. Joseph Euler, thanks for being in Tom's Army. And I don't know, there might be one person in there. You don't know how many people there would be. I don't know if it would be one person, 100, 1,000. I really don't know. But it has to be 100% transparent because if you're trying to learn and you can't ask a question, it doesn't work. I found that out myself in college. But anyhow, Joseph Euler, thanks for the gifted sub, being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. And Mark Smith, welcome back into Tom's Army now for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. Such an awesome thing, getting that gifted sub. I'm gonna let my cat out real quick as we wind down here and go through see what to expect here. In the next. I've thought about the private one-on-one. If it's only one person, it'll be me. Oh, that's good to know. Go on, Ghost. My son just got his feeding for noontime. And look, I'm supposed to be hangry right now. I haven't ate since 8 o'clock last night at 8:30. So I got my 16-hour fasting. It's weird with the holidays. It's like I feel like maybe you gaining weight, but then because I consistently lift weights 5 days a week, it helps transport it into muscle, and I feel a little bulkier, but it's weird. I feel weird. Let's see. Lania's got one of two choices here. We still need to technically retest this breakdown, so I would expect something up here, assuming the market dynamics would successfully allow this to navigate in this way, but it is massively oversold in the 4-hourly, which is nice. Daily's pushed down a little bit here, but see, it's still got a lot of room if we want to rotate back down. I've got to look to see when the next monthly escrow dump is for Lania. Kind of like XRP. We got to figure this out. I can't remember the exact date. No, it could not happen to a better guy than Mark. Mark's been a very, very strong supporter. You got that right, Edgar. One day I know you're going to get a gifted sub. I hope everybody who's trying to get a gifted sub that you turned on that feature because they ask you. I noticed they ask everybody because when I came on my tablet with Julie's account, it asked me if she wanted gifted subs or not. And then she happened to get a gifted sub one day on the live, which was unbelievable. Somebody gifted I think it was a solo. It was either a solo or 5 subs, and actually one of them went to Julie, which was unbelievable. But now, if we're looking for another hit here, like I can make the case that if we want to hit 3 times on this uptrend, that it could line up with the dump somewhere down to here, 00631. We could make that case, but obviously the market would have to follow in that direction. I think, and I'm pretty sure that it's still on point, that there is a special meeting with Jerome Powell on December 1st. I don't know if that's confirmed, but there was certainly speculation about it. So let's see. Actually, let me ask AI so I don't have to do the legwork and see what it comes up with. What are we thinking about?
There is no official or confirmed emergency meeting scheduled for Jerome Powell on December 1st, 2025. However,
Oh, the panel discussion. Okay. That makes sense.
Here is the specific breakdown of the event you are asking about. It is not an emergency economic meeting. It is a historical tribute. 1.
Okay, so he speaks at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 5 p.m. local time in California. So he is there to honor George Shultz, a former Secretary of State and Treasury Secretary, passed away, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, we'll see if he says anything, because on December 9th, they have their interest rates. He's strictly forbidden from discussing current interest rates, the economy, or the upcoming December 9th meeting. Isn't that interesting? That's funny. So, you're not going to hear a lot of what we want to hear about, but there's definitely the possibility that something comes of it. Mark Smith, yeah, that was gifted by Joseph Euler. And somebody said it couldn't have happened to a nicer person, Mark, and I agree with them. Where do I see if it's turned on? I think it is, but I could be wrong. I have no idea. It popped up automatically in like a little message. I don't even know how to find it. I tried to find that section for somebody, and I literally don't know how. In the 30-minute, could be pulling down here a little bit. I mean, if we keep testing this area, eventually, you wouldn't get the follow through, but we're getting some suggestions. See, it's so tough with XRP right now. Just because we have the escrow dump coming. A lot of times, yes, we see the surge the day before, and then it pulls back down after midnight and then into the morning and just comes back into the area it was at. Aurelie Welcoming says, the money sign, click it. The money sign, click it. Oh, yeah, membership gifting. So I wonder if you click on that. Send gift memberships to this channel's viewers. The gift memberships you... Yeah, so maybe it says something in there if you haven't clicked it yet. Or I wonder what Julie says if I share her membership milestone. Juju Fish in Tom's Army for 44 months now. How awesome. With the XRP Diamond Hands badge. Beautiful. Beautiful. The Cannabis Podcast, thanks for being in Tom's Army 6+ months with the XP Predictor. ETF's going live tomorrow too, so maybe it gobbles up the dump. Maybe. You never know. You really never know. I shared some cool stuff on Facebook that I can read to you guys before I leave. It's been, 50-something minutes? Holy crap, an hour. Yeah, I got to get to my son and do dad stuff right now. But I intend on being back tonight for regularly scheduled program tonight for the evening live. So, unless something crazy happens to where my son needs me and but he's doing a lot better. But so I thought this was interesting. So 29% of XRP leaves exchanges as 21 shares ETF set to trade Monday. Investor, and then this was another thing that I read and I thought was cool. Investors have now allocated $239 billion into leveraged ETFs, marking the highest amount in history. This indicates a significant increase in risk taking among investors, and that doesn't just mean for these ETFs going up. Some you can lever down, but this just means instead of buying these ETFs at a 1x, there's some 2x or the influx ETFs, and you can get it 2. Some of them are 3x. So people are risking a lot of money. That means on a 20% move, you're losing 40 or 60%. So it's there's some stuff. But people are definitely becoming bigger risk takers. honestly, when you look at levered stuff, normally they lever up because most people don't lever down. We've got Franklin Templeton's XRP ETF amasses 76 million XRP or $76 million in XRP, adding 47 million in 10 days. And just I like to put out stupid stuff like this. The Fed Chair Powell set to speak on December 1st, and I mean it put breaking news, but I guess it's not really breaking news. I really like this. With the Tether downgrade disaster, Ripple's RLUSD gets green light in Abu Dhabi. Hours later, Ripple appears to have demonstrated excellent timing once again, just hours following Tether's downgrade. RLUSD received clearance for institutional finance in Abu Dhabi. The UAE is recognized as one of the world's, one of the world. Oh, let me do it right here. I forgot I did a video. UAE is recognized as one of the world's fastest growing digital asset hubs, which provides RLUSD with a clear pathway into global regulated markets. This is a massive step forward for mainstream crypto adoption and a testament to Ripple's strategic positioning. So that's good stuff. That's good news. That is good news. And then like Bank of America said a couple days ago that the entire US banking industry will adopt crypto payments. So I mean if you just want quick facts or quick things, I encourage you to join on here. I didn't put as much out when my son was sick, but normally I'll put out like 7 or 8 different things per day. At least lately. It is big for Ripple. It is big for Ripple. $ membership, 3 dots at top for anybody wondering. Oh, $. Interesting. Thank you for sharing that with everybody, my friend. Edgar, thank you so much. See, very helpful community we have here. Can we get 3 more likes before I leave? And we'll be at 100. I'm also curious to see, like, I think we just got to be careful too, right? I not careful, but I think we got to pay attention to see if this holds at 218 or not. Like I said, with that escrow dump, you got to be cautious here with these ETFs going online. Generally, it seems like we would have a pull down, but initially we could have some kind of surge. Like if we're gonna do it, I would like to do it on a Sunday. You know, it's just I want to see it have some follow through, like with some of the market. Like Band is speaking for a reason. Quant's up another 9% for a reason. You know, there's reasons happening with certain tokens. Like Optic's back up to almost 61. It was back down to like 49 just about a week ago. So there's a reason. Well, maybe not a week. Well, right here even it came down to 58, but back here 53, and then just on November 21st, so just 9 days ago, just over a week ago, we were back down at 49. So it's had some significant movement for a reason. Now, the reason why I say it's significant is, yeah, we came up 41, but right now we're up 23 from the bottom on that drop on the 21st. But we've also come back and we're trying to hold this area. This is a strong back test of a potential breakout attempt. And then you get validation when you get up over this resistance. Like this is a big push up if we could hold 65, 78 now that we're trying to hold the initial breakout. And yeah, we're getting into 70% of the move, so. Oh, XDC, yes. I'll do one more XDC before I leave. But I'm heavily invested in XDC, even more than I was now because of the decisions I had to make. And the potential to get even deeper. So, but yeah, so that's where we're at right now. And make good decisions is all I'm gonna say, everybody. Make good decisions. I would never, ever, ever in this environment now, I would kind of just regulate your leverage trading now. Even if we're tempted by it, I would probably take a step back. If I'm being honest, I would take a step back. Oh, another thing on crypto.com, a good reason for that too, if you have it and you like certain tokens that for some reason they don't have on every exchange. Another good example of it for crypto.com to store it is VeChain. For some reason, Kraken doesn't have it, and a lot of other exchanges for some reason don't have it. It's a good spot to send it and let it sit. And don't even look at it like you're selling it. So cheap right now, you're not selling it. So your vocabulary shouldn't be, how do I sell this? You know, it should be, where do I store this until the price goes crazy high? So that's how we're going to do this. We're going to build this up just like we did before. just like we did with our commodities and mining stocks, and just like we built a store of value for ourselves when it came to gold and silver, we're going to do it the exact same way. Just like we did in 21 before all these, you know, Mike came in and says, "Hell yeah, Tom, here on the Komodo again, the commode again. Taking my post Thanksgiving Day buffet dump one of my wife's boyfriend's flip flops and eating a sliced pumpkin pie in the commode. Love the show." Mike, at least you found your center of happiness, and that's all we can ask. That's all we can ask. Mike's one of a kind, if you don't know. Brilliant. I've come to really look forward to Mike's comment and commentary and just hearing on his little updates, honestly. Can't beat it. You can't beat it. And then also another good thing for crypto.com. And maybe I'll have like 80,000 algo. I don't know what I'm gonna up it to, but that was just a topic of discussion. But also on crypto.com, a good thing is they have Axelar. So don't forget about that either. They have Axelar. So if you want to send 10,000 tokens over there, or if you just want to buy, I mean, obviously it's sometimes you got to bite the bullet, but I don't, it's just a good spot to have it sitting for a long time until it becomes more widely available. Let's just put it that way. Okay. So be smart, be wise, trade in a way where it makes sense for your portfolio, nobody else's. It doesn't matter if it works for somebody else, but at the end of the day, it don't work for you. What's the point? So make sure it works for you. Even if it works for me, it might not work for you. Maybe you want to be that gambler and you want to stand in no KYC exchange. Each their own. I can just give you my reasoning why I think that at this point in time, we got to be smart. We can't let somebody steal our stuff with no recourse. If they're going to steal it, at least let's have a little bit of recourse with some documentation that it's ours owned. It's like going to buy a car and not getting the car note signed over to you. You might have paid for it. It might be in your possession. You might think it's yours. But unfortunately, the documentation, it's either it doesn't exist, it's not in your name, so you have no recourse. We got to have recourse. Got to have recourse. I'm going to lead by example. That's the whole point. I'm leading by example, and then we're going to go forward. I think you bought XRP instead of a car, Protham. What, out of curiosity, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Sorry, I got a message from my sister that I was just reading through. Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. But just for the end of the day here, please, one thing with XRP, just remember, understand, dissect it, and just trust in what I'm saying. XRP, if it loses, just pay attention. And I don't necessarily think it's going to lose this area. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if it loses it, because I think it's in a good spot right now. Unless it loses, even in the daily, it hasn't broken down yet. Yes, we're overbought a little bit, but that would suggest we could have, with the way the 4-hourly was, it's kind of set up here for a possible. Well, actually, the 4-hourly could come down a little bit still. It's lagging down. Forgot we had this minor movement that kind of cut it off. But the 2-hourly is reversed. But if we lose, just pay attention to that 218.25. If we come out a little bit farther, and you're like, well, how do I dissect this later in the day? Let's say we get through Sunday and it's at the end of the day. Let's just put this here just so you can understand. By the end of the day, as long as we're over 217.38 and we're continuing to use this as support, we have a chance. If it breaks down below that, get the umbrella out. Okay, just get the umbrella out and just enjoy the rain. Have a